with Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper. And he was just a very, 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 very special guy. I was telling people Sunday at the Y, he was kind of a stately, kind of an elegant, clean, very pristine. He was like an old soul, kind of a fearless businessman, very decisive, very formal, very structured, very disciplined. And yet he'd come on stage and it was like, hey, Miss Andy, you know, it was like, hold on to your ass, man. You know, he was just, he'd take the stance and hit the thing and he was gone. And it was just he was fun, and he was an interesting guy because he was 22 years old, I was 19. He was taking flying lessons out at Teterboro Airport. He had married Maria Elena. They lived down on Fifth Avenue near the park, down near the village. She used to say, Dion, Buddy and I, she was young, they got married so quick, like 1958, August 15th. When he came to New York here. And she said to me, you know, Dion, I didn't know how to act. I would never dated. You know, I was married and when the apartment, he'd get up 3 o'clock in the morning and start writing songs and on the recorder. And I thought I had to get up. And so I got up and I put my robe on and I said, Buddy, what are you doing up? You know, she was from Puerto Rico. And they used to like she said we used to put our overcoats on and walk down to the village and listen to poetry at 3 o'clock in the morning, drink coffee. So. But he was an interesting guy. What 22-year-old charters a plane? I mean, even today that's pretty, that's rare. You know, I mean, today you get more of it, but back then, I was just learning how to hail a cab. I mean, I never took a cab. You know, my parents used to argue over this $36 a month rent. I mean, that was a lot of money back then. And so when we got in the room to decide who was going to take that charter plane, and the band was on stage with this opening act, Frankie Sardo, he said to Richie, the Bopper, and myself, he said, listen, I chartered a plane, but it only has 4 seats. Pilot, taken with his 2 seats. So one guy has to ride the Golden Chariot, which was a little yellow school bus that they had, which kept breaking down. So we flipped and the Bopper and I won. But when I heard $36 to go from Clear Lake, Iowa to Fargo, North Dakota, I said, oh. My mind hadn't stretched out to paying $36 for a 2-hour flight. It was a whole month's rent. And I just said, Richie, you go. And he was alone. See, I had the Belmonts with me. I had my homeboys, you know, so we could ride the bus and drink and carry on. But he was alone and kind of forlorn, so Richie went. He was a great guy. And the Bopper was a great guy. He had the ministry of face. He was like a pumpkin. I mean, you know what I mean? You know, he was 27 years old. He was a beer-drinking, dart-throwing saloon guy. You know, he was like football. Whoa, the Bopper. You know, he used to come on a bus. He used to light up the whole bus. 52 years ago, this month, they died. I was the only guy who left that room and lived. And you know, it just made me very grateful in my life because I have 3 daughters and grandkids. And I'm here tonight, you know, champion. You know, when I walked in, I heard Rave on. I think that's the song I sang that night. I got up on stage and I said, you know, I lost 3 friends. It was like family, like I lost 3 family members, you know. And this is the kind of stuff he's saying. I did the song that night. Well, baby, now the little things you say and do make me, baby, want to be with you, with her. Babe, I want you crazy me, and I know that I'm feeling when you say I love you, babe. love you, Rave on. Rave on, hey Rave on, tell me I'm not to be lonely, tell me you love me on the rave on me. Rave on, hey Rave on, rave on. I'm not to be lonely, rave on, tell me on the rave on. Well, baby, baby, love a little thing, say I do, make me, baby, want me to be found. Hey, it's a crazy beat man, I know it got me real, and I'm so glad I love you.